cheap. Not something the only thing you're sucking out.
True.
Guys,
I just remembered part of my dream.
you just slapped me.
Okay, so like, it was there. We were staying at this place. It was like a Disney place, but not. And they were giving away these controllers for like $4 to play some kind of Mario Kart-esque game, but it was like a ripoff kind of thing. And the controllers were shaped like the characters that you would play as. But then it turned out after I got one that like you only had like a 30-day free trial, and then you had, if you wanted to like actually play the game, you had to pay like $60 for it. So I was stuck with this controller, and you were there. I don't remember why. And there was a wizard.
Why would I? I was obviously the wizard.
No. No.
No, suck it up. No, suck it up. No, suck it up. No.
Joey, slap her butt again.
Ow! Yes, sorry.
Emma's so cute. He just separates the hair. Emma, can you fix my hair?
True.
Having anuses for eyes.
Ooh.
Extremely tight pants.
True.
Poorly timed Holocaust jokes.
Somebody should have saved that.
Expecting a burp and vomiting on the floor. In the Underground Railroad. A brain tumor.
What? This bitch.
I'm kind of upset right now.
Yeah, it depends on the... How... Yeah, I'm going with the turtles. Thank you.
Solo from My Heart Will Go On.
We had the windows open.
Kamikaze pilots.
No.
The Boy Scouts of
We don't want
America.
bugs in here.
Amputees.
I was just talking about the top.
I don't have any money. I'm sorry.
I'm eating already, thank you.
You're like, I got my meat on a stick.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me see what
It's expensive here.
That's why we gotta make it cheap.
These used to be like $7, now they're $11.
But all those theme songs.
All these years you lied to me. Oh. It's the same thing for like 4 choruses, Starkey. Yeah, it's like the same thing until Hello from the USA.
Or you do, butters.
Oh, yeah.
I love cherry.
Janine, stand up. Janine, stand up.
What?
Stand up.
What the hell is really...
She's wheezing into me.
I brought it up here and it touched my nose.
Oh, I thought you said pee myself. Janine, do you want me to feed you?
Into the hole.
He has an entire soup, like 2 spoons. Oh my god. Are you enjoying me feeding you? This last one. Here, let me get some.
Oh.
What? What was it?
It was cheese. It was cheese.
I don't want to know. Never mind.
I actually ran. Guys, you know people have to sit here.
Do they? I have to leave. I don't need you. She's like, what?
We were undefendable.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, they person?
I guess.
We're talking about being gay. What, Jojo?
I was like, I sat here.
Hey.
I'm sorry, it just made me think of Justin. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hello?
Do you like it?
I do like it. I love green tea. I'm just bad at like showing expression for gifts.
I was
usually.
stressed that you wouldn't like it.
We'll be eating the rest
Okay,
of the
like-
ice cream for the next year. We're just gonna be sitting.
Happy birthday, here's Jasmine eating ice cream.
I don't like you guys. It's a promo.
What's that? Huh?
Yeah,
Is
but
it a journal?
I found this and I was like, oh no, that's totally like a Jasmine thing. Good luck getting it open.
Wait,
I duct taped Izzy's present once, like for her last one, all around duct tape.
Oh, that was the fucking worst.
Dude, that's so pretty.
Here, I found it.
Here, show the camera, Jazz.
The rest are from me. I know.
oh my god, who gave
Oh my god, it's the spiral shit again.
Unfold it and you will see. Needs like voice up.
Is it
Wait,
a
Amma.
blanket?
Amma.
It's a cardigan.
Oh, that's so pretty!
Oh my god. In the meantime, the gays. You okay, Jojo?
You totally.
Think it's too big.
Oh my god. Bird. That was a good word, bird.
Oh, is this a robe?
Yes. I don't know if you have a robe already, but
I
just
don't, and this
figured-
is actually kind of great because like I'm always naked in the mornings, so I'm waiting for my like I mean for like until I like go to school, then I put my clothes because my hair's always wet, and then it just gets on my clothes.
I am cooked Chinese food.
Oh! I'm Emma. No, Emma.
We're leaving the wiper. Starbucks.
I'm Donald Trump.
Okay, edginess.
I am hot chocolate.
I am Jazzy.
Your shoe got stuck in.
My shoe.
I'm the police officer who's trying to help but isn't really helping.
Hi, Daddy.
So like I think it was last summer and I was really exhausted, so I just kind of went to my parents' room and just kind of like plopped on their bed, and I was like messing around with my phone, and I look over near the doorway and I see this huge bug. It's like about this big. And I think it's like a cockroach or something, right? Like, I don't know if it's dead, I don't know if it's alive, it wasn't moving. I was terrified. It was huge. I've never seen a cockroach before, so I was like, what is it? So, like, here I am on my parents' bed crying, and I, like, text my mom to come open the door and get this bug away from the doorway because I feel trapped. She comes from the backyard, opens the door, and she's like, what? What is your problem? And I, like, point at the bug, right? She leans down, and she picks it up, and it's a toy.
I personally don't find this one gross, but other people might. So, I was down in Arizona, and I was just kind of like lounging around in my grandmother's kitchen, I believe it was. And I turn around, and on the counter, about this big, is a tarantula.
Oh my god.
Now, I like tarantulas. I like picked it up and like had it walk around in my hands. But then my brother walked in, and he's terrified. And he like screams, absolute bloody murder. You probably heard it here. You just didn't know it.
Okay, so I was living in Texas. I was like showering, and I get out and like I get this towel and I wrap it around me, and like there's this centipede about like this big in the towel, and I didn't realize it. It's like I was like drying myself off, and I put a shirt on, and I was like, oh, my back feels itchy, and so I'm like sitting there, and I feel like something on my shoulder, and look, and there's this big black centipede on my shoulder, and they're that long, they're black, and they have like orange feet.
Like way more legs than they need.
Yeah, my dad had to cut it in half and then like peel it off of my skin because it wouldn't come off.
Are you gonna make it, Alma?
I hate Philippines. I hate peas.
Well, just change, like,
And even when my dad cut it in half, he was still squirming around on top.
well, the story isn't that gross, but just to change the subject, it's about
I was gonna
spiders.
squirm anyways.
Okay, 2 years ago, I'm, it's at night, and I'm trying to go to sleep, right, and it's like, I don't know, maybe 12 or 11 or something like that, but I feel something weird on my arm, and I'm like, well, I don't know, maybe I'm just, like, moving the blanket weirdly or something. But then I feel it again later. Like, I lift up the blanket, and then I finally turn on the light, and there's a spider on my arm, just, like, hanging out there and crawling around. But my dad, my dad opens the door to my room and looks over at me while I'm trying to fall asleep here and trying to kill this random bug, and I'm swatting the ground, or swatting the bed and the blanket and stuff. And my dad just opens the door and he looks over at me, and then he closes the door.
It's like, if I find a spider, I'm okay as long as it's the size of a quarter or smaller. But if it's the size of a quarter or bigger, and I'm not expecting it, then there's, issues. Alright, so mine's more of a funny story than it is a gross story. So, summer of my freshman year, I went to this camp called Socapa, right? There was like this photography thing in Vermont. It's notorious when I'm taking photos for like getting in weird, odd positions. I don't know why, it's just what I do. So, this particular thing, I was doing a series on like ceilings, and that meant I was like on the ground for most of the day, on my back, scooting along the ground. So one of my friends decided to do a series on like the cafeteria ladies, and they agreed. Except she was really scared, and so, like y'all do, she recruited me to go and talk to them with her. So we're sitting there in the cafeteria with the cafeteria ladies, and they're talking, and I feel this little prick on the back of my neck. And I'm like, well, that's weird, probably just a weird seam. So I reach back, and it kind of like crunches, and I'm like, I don't know, is that a button or something? So I'm like, we're sitting there talking to the cafeteria ladies, and I'm just like rolling up this little crunch thing, and I take it out, and I look at my hand, and it's a beetle, like the size of my thumb, and I'm like,
Wow.
ah! The cafeteria ladies all screamed, and they looked at me, and they said, did you bring that in here? And I was like, not intentionally. She didn't get to do her series, and I felt really bad. As I was telling everybody in the auditorium what happened, like, later on that day, and all of a sudden I feel a crunch in the back of my shirt, and I'm like, that's weird. And I reach back there, and it's the same stupid beetle that found my shirt. Again, I don't know if it was the same beetle, but it was a beetle. Again, in the auditorium, and I just pull it out, and I'm like, oh, look at that, it's a beetle, and everyone freaked out, and then it flew, and like, everyone sat like 3 feet away from me. So
No, you just...
I thought that you were a magician.
Is he?